restaurant. Oh, you sure? What? Why not? I want you to try this drink. Are you sure? Wait, I want you to try this drink. It's harmless. Harmless.
Should Fred have done such a thing? I don't think so. No, no, no!
Welcome to Youth Alert, a talk show program that informs you, the youth, and your parents of very latest developments and issues that affect you whole denomination. Good morning, I'm Jesse Del Valle. Now, in the past few weeks, we have been discussing youth and relationships at school, youth and how they act in out of school, etc., etc. On this week's episode, I am joined by a special guest on the show, who will be talking about how a particular issue shapes the youth of today's society, and why they seem to act in this manner. Of course, I'm talking about peer pressure, and joining me now is the head of Australian Science Institute's Parnell Branch, Professor Rafael Abela. Good morning, sir.
Good day to you. I'm honored to have been able to be on your show.
Thank you so much. Our first question runs along this. Could you please tell me and our viewers why is peer pressure such a hard dialect to control everywhere across the world?
From what we have discovered in the lab, even in my childhood, peer pressure comes in many shapes or forms. If it is not harmful to anyone, but all products of being peer pressured will ultimately lead to consequences, good or bad, depending on the way the person attempting to peer pressure has put on his or her subject.
Peer pressure must be like a ripple effect around the world. It can happen everywhere. Next, what have you and your group of scientists found in your research on peer pressure?
We have found a staggering amount of information to help us with our stance on peer pressure, and from that information gathered from the two countries of interest, the United States of America and Australia, it seems a bleak sight, and that one can be frightening. The four main focal points of peer pressure are alcohol, drugs, smoking, and relationships. Now, in league with the Maryland Underage Drinking Coalition, the Adolescent Substance Abuse Knowledge Base, the American Lung Association, and Alan Guttmacher Institute of the United States of America, we have been able to find a reasonable amount of research and come up with a conclusion to this. For alcohol, the MUDC says that alcohol is earliest consumed at 13, and 32.2% drink underage. While here, the Australian Bureau of Statistics says that 25% drink underage. For drugs, the ASAKB says that 30.2% of youths are offered a substance they do not know, and the ABS says that most of drug deaths are induced in the late teens. For smoking, the ALA says that 25% of teens smoke regularly, and the ABS reports that 50% of teens who smoke regularly will smoke for the next 20 years. Lastly, relationships. The AGI says that approximately 50% are pressured when in a relationship, and the ABS reports that teenage fertility due to a combination of the above have slightly decreased, but still at a higher rate than it should be.
From what you have said, I'm already astounded by the statistics that peer pressure brings about, and what it may conclude in. Now you have a campaign that is showing Australia-wide about peer pressure, as it is your area of expertise. What does that campaign entail, and why is it so important to show it to the general public of Australia?
Our regime is called the Never Give In campaign, and our slogan is prevent, protect, not regret.
Video at the start of the episode, and using prior knowledge, what could Fred have done in this scenario to prevent him from taking an unknown substance under peer pressure?
Using the information that I relayed earlier, if Fred were to say no to succumbing to peer pressure, he has to be a resilient figure, one who can stand up for himself against other people, not just his friends, but strangers as well. It is also advised that he takes prior knowledge of what's happening in the world today. There may be trends or lags that can influence particular people, which increase the chances of being peer pressured higher and more dangerous.
Well, thank you for being with us on the show today. It has been a pleasure being able to meet you and learn from your wisdom.
Thank you also, Jesse. Glad I could help the youths watching this show more about peer pressure and what it's good about.